All right, let's get right into it. If you're running a local service business with Google Ads, you know that every single click is costing you money. But what if a huge chunk of that money is being spent on clicks from people who can never, ever actually become your customer? Well, today we're going to break down exactly why that's happening and, more importantly, how you can fix it. It's got to be one of the most frustrating things for a business owner. You log into your Google Ads account, you see the clicks are rolling in, your budget is definitely being spent, but it's just not turning into actual local business. So the real question is, where is all that money going? And this right here is the classic symptom. You might get some odd form fills from weird places, maybe a few calls from people who are states away asking if you can help them. It feels like you're casting this huge net, but you're only catching all these fish you have to immediately throw back. It's confusing, it's for sure expensive, and frankly, it makes you start to wonder if ads even work for your business at all. Now, here's the wild part. This usually isn't some super complex problem. You don't have to be a marketing wizard to figure this out. A lot of the time, the real culprit is just a single, kind of hidden default setting that Google automatically turns on for every new campaign. It's a setting that is quietly just wrecking your local ad efforts. Okay, so let's break down the first major issue. I like to call it the interest targeting trap. And believe me, this is the number one reason local businesses end up paying for clicks from people who are hundreds, sometimes even thousands of miles away. So, here's the deal. When you set up a new campaign, Google's default setting isn't just for people in your location. It's set to presence or interest. Now think about what that means. It means Google will show your ads to people who are physically in your area or to people who have simply shown an interest in your location, even if they're on the other side of the country. For a local service business, what you actually need is presence only. You need boots on the ground in your service area, not just someone with a passing curiosity. And this just perfectly shows who that interest setting actually targets, right? Someone who's planning to move to your city, yeah, they might be a customer someday, but they're not ready to hire you today. A tourist looking up stuff for their trip, they don't need a local roofer. And a competitor from another state doing research, that is a click you definitely do not want to pay for. Every single one of these is an example of your budget being spent on clicks that have literally zero chance of turning into a job this week. This quote just says it all. Someone sitting in Florida, maybe planning a summer trip, researches Minneapolis. They see your ad for a local service there and click on it, just because they're curious. And boom, you just paid for a click from someone 1,500 miles away who you can never, ever serve. That's the interest trap in action. All right, let's move on to the second common mistake. And this one is so deceptively simple. It's all about how we use that little radius targeting tool to define our service area and how a small, seemingly logical change can have huge unintended consequences for your ad budget. This is a super common starting point. You're a local business, right? So you tell Google, hey, just show my ads to people within 5 miles of my shop. It feels precise, it feels local, and it just seems like a perfectly logical way to get started. Then, after a while, you might start thinking, I need more calls. I could use more leads. Let's expand our reach a bit. And the most intuitive thing to do is to just double that radius. I mean, if 5 miles is good, 10 miles has to be twice as good, right? You're just doubling your reach. But is that what really happened? Did you really just double the area where your ads are showing up? This is one of those spots where our intuition about simple numbers kind of leads us down the wrong path when it comes to, basic geometry. The answer is a big, fat no. When you double the radius of a circle from 5 miles to 10 miles, you don't double the area. You actually quadruple it. The area just grows exponentially. And that means you've suddenly exposed your ad budget to a market that's 4 times larger, which could have 4 times as many irrelevant clicks and 4 times the potential for totally wasted money if you're not careful. Okay, so we've pointed out the problems. Now, what do we do about them? Well, it really comes down to a simple 2-part strategy. I want you to think of it like you're building a strong digital fence around your actual service area to keep all those unwanted clicks out. So this strategy is often called geofencing. I know, it sounds like a fancy technical term, but it's really not. All it means is that you're creating a very precise, very intentional digital border. You're not just telling Google where you want to show your ads, you're also being very clear about all the places you don't want to show them. So here it is, the whole strategy, in just 2 easy steps. First, like we talked about, you got to go into your settings and change that default targeting from presence or interest to presence only. That's like locking the gate. And second, you have to actively build the fence by telling Google exactly which nearby cities, counties, or zip codes you absolutely do not serve. And let me tell you, this second step is so important. See, even with presence targeting, Google's system can sometimes bleed over into the areas right next door. But by creating a list of excluded locations right next to your service area, you build a much stronger barrier. You're leaving absolutely no room for error. You're basically telling Google, look, this is my yard and that over there is my neighbor's. Do not show ads in my neighbor's yard. All right, let's bring this all home and talk about what this means for the one thing that matters most, your budget. Doing this stuff isn't just a technical exercise. It's about fundamentally shifting your ad spend away from waste and toward real opportunity. So, what are the big things to remember from all this? First, start small and focused. Don't try to target an entire metro area if you've got a small budget. Second, always, and I mean always, change that default location setting to presence. It's the easiest, most impactful fix you can make. Third, just be aware that doubling your radius actually quadruples your ad area and your risk. And finally, be proactive. Build that digital fence by telling Google exactly where you don't do business. At the end of the day, it all just boils down to this simple equation. When your targeting is precise, when it's intentional, you force every single dollar of your ad budget to work so much harder for you. You stop paying for those curious clicks from Florida, and you start investing in real conversations with potential customers who are right there in your neighborhood. I really hope this breakdown helps you get a lot more from your marketing budget. For more practical insights just like this, all designed to help you grow your service business, make sure you subscribe. Here at Proper Marketers, we're all about helping businesses like yours turn Google Ads into what they're supposed to be, a reliable source of real calls and book jobs. Thanks for watching.